chocolate factory, and this factory is filled with all kinds of chocolate. It runs like rivers here and there. It is just so wonderful, it's my chocolate factory. And so I decided that I would put some golden tickets in some of my chocolate bars and send them out, and anyone who got one of the 5 golden tickets would get a tour of my chocolate factory. Now, did anyone get one?
I get to tour the factory.
Wow! Let's see it. You do get to tour the factory. Let's take our tour. This is the pretend tour. That was a great tour. Wow! All right. It seems to me that you are the only child who is completely trustworthy on the tour. There were some children who said, I want it now, I want it right now. But you Charlie, did not. You were great. And you didn't do anything selfish or dishonest. Well, you didn't, surely. You're the one I can trust. Well, what could be wrong? Can I trust you?
Mr. Wonka, I must confess, I stole your super secret candy, a gobstopper. I cannot lie. I am not the trustworthy child you are looking for.
Oh, that's so wrong. You are, because you hold the truth. So you get the chocolate factory. So let us pray that we all get enough trust in life to win the golden ticket. This is the time right around Unitarian Charles Darwin's birthday. In fact, he was born 210 years ago this Tuesday. His book, The Origin of the Species, literally upended cultures, which has ramifications on to this day. But there's a fun side of his birthday. His birthday is also the celebration of Darwin Day. In fact, our sister congregation in London, England, New Unity, started the day in their service by naming this year's winner. I haven't had a chance to look at the stream of their broadcast. I don't know who they chose, but here's what the award is. It's named in honor of Darwin to commemorate those who strive to improve our gene pool by removing themselves from it. By acts of stupidness or whatever, they are no longer in the gene pool mix. A wonderful example was the 2001 winner. This is the story. It comes from Australia. The carcass of a naturally deceased whale off the Great Barrier Reef attracted an unbelievable number of hungry sharks. Now, local boat owners took advantage of this macabre spectacle by ferrying literally hundreds of spectators out to view the sharks feeding on the dead carcass. Now, as the great white sharks ripped hunks of flesh off the dead mammal, these spectators took leave of their senses and tried to pet the shark on the nose. 2 or 3 actually got out of their boats and stood on the stood on the dead whale, one with a small child in tow, so they could get a picture of themselves watching the sharks feed. The minister of the Interior said, somehow we have to teach people that these creatures are not toys, that great white sharks will actually kill you. And for that reason, Parliament passed a law that said, just as everyone must stay away from a beached dead whale because of the danger that might accrue from various bacteria, there is now a law saying no one may approach a dead whale in the water any more than 250 yards. These were the folks who removed themselves from the gene pool in 2001 and became winners of the Darwin Award. So happy Darwin Day. It's a time to reflect on the bravery, perpetual curiosity, scientific thinking, and the hunger for truth embodied by Unitarian Charles Darwin. See, no one knew better than Darwin about society's demands for slicing up our souls. He was ridiculed by the Church of England for his theory of natural selection. He was reviled by English society for his egalitarian marriage to another Unitarian from the Wedgwood family. And his society demanded that he kept his true self hidden. Likewise, our society separates us from our souls, forcing us to live small, to live in pieces, fragmented. Trouble is, if we live too long in only our pieces, they become all of what we are. The only relevant religions today are those that take this seriously. Hell certainly exists. It's the state of having to hide ourselves. In this UU church, we don't want people to hide themselves. We want people to be trustworthy and honest about their contradictions, just like little Ruthie was this morning. And the bottom line is we want our congregations to be places where you really don't have to pretend all that much. This is a legacy that is passed on to us not only from Darwin, but also from a Unitarian author, Kurt Vonnegut. Lifelong Unitarian parents, grew up in the St. Louis church. His father, an architect, designed their building in St. Louis. And Vonnegut found his identity in helping people find wholeness. He was all about loving enough to trust yourself to be whole so that you can do what needs doing. He gave the 1986 Ware lecture at General Assembly in Rochester, New York. I was there. Well, I was almost there. Just as he was about to begin, I was called out to take a telephone call from someone in my congregation who had an emergency. When I came back 15 minutes later, Vonnegut was finishing his Ware lecture, making it the shortest Ware lecture ever given and the most expensive by word. But I did hear this. I urge you, Vonnegut said, to please notice when you are happy and exclaim or murmur or think at some point, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is. Vonnegut found his identity in helping people find wholeness. Because if you give your own happiness a bit of brain space, maybe you won't win the Darwin Award this year. Publisher and editor-in-chief of Women's Day magazine, also an ardent Unitarian Universalist and an old friend of mine, to ask her a little bit about what she thought people needed to do so they could take care of themselves well enough to be their own Valentine. And she said, you know, there is an amazing trend taking shape. And Susan is completely devoted to it. She's even published a little book about it called On Kindness and Loving Yourself. But over the last few years, health, spiritual practice, and loving yourself are starting to be considered a hip thing, not something strange. Susan even offers 8 easy steps you can take to be your own Valentine. This is where you get a democratic choice. I can list those 8 for you, or just move on. Who wants to hear it? All right. According to Women's Day magazine and its Unitarian Universalist editor-in-chief, number 1 in the list of how you should be your own Valentine's Day is serve the world by living your purpose. Number 2 is empower people by being confident. Number 3, stop gossiping and complaining. I'd like to raise that up. That's really. Stop gossiping and complaining, particularly to your minister. In general. Balance gentleness and firmness is number 4. 5 is keep the promises you make to yourself. 6, nourish and celebrate yourself. 7, have integrity with the people who surround you. And 8, move step by step toward aligning yourself with your best self. Pretty good advice, I think. Even Justin Bieber, pop star, takes up this quest for wholeness in his number 1 pop song, Love Yourself. Like Vonnegut, Bieber wonders what it would be like to be your own Valentine. He sings, oh baby, you should go and love yourself so you can love me back. But how? How can we go deeper than the vessel pundits and pop stars, even deeper than Women's Day magazine? How can we really love ourselves enough to be our own Valentine? The Sikh yogi Bajam Singh Khalsa says, you only need to do one thing. Not 8, 1. Be human. Be human. He says, you are a human being. Understand what that means. Let's break it apart. Human being. Hu means like. Man means mind. Being means now. Like, mind, now. Like, mind, now. Put it together, and human being means now you are the mental light. You are a living existence of light. When you become light and you radiate, there is no misunderstanding. A candle has one future: to spread illumination. Candle has one future: to spread illumination. The human being has one light, one future: to spread the illumination, to radiate into the world. In last week's scripture, we remember it ends in the end, these 3 things will remain: faith, hope, and love. And the most powerful of these is love. The light of love is what burned within Jesus. It is what Jesus used to find those he trusted. The love of light is what burns within us. Because as Unitarian Universalists, we have throughout our whole history viewed Jesus as fully human. We have not made Jesus God. We have made him totally set apart as a Christ. We've kept him fully rooted in the human world. We see Jesus as a brother, a teacher, a great guy, a prophet. But within this belief comes a real responsibility. If Jesus was somebody like us, just one of the guys or gals, then what Jesus did, well, we could do that. We could love ourselves enough to do what needs to be done, even to be our own Valentine. In a world that overlooks the marginalized, the differently abled, the disabled, the poor, the sick, the vulnerable, outcast, the homeless, the woman, the widow, the orphan, the immigrant, the laborer, the peasant, the foreigner, Jesus was saying that the time had come for things to be different. The time had come to be a Valentine. Jesus said, I have come to proclaim a time of love's favor. And with these words, Jesus claimed his true identity as one who did what needed to be done for love, and who stood with the forgotten on the side of love. As Unitarian Universalists, we're called to reach beyond the whirl and twirl of chaos and confusion. We're called to be the conscience and compassion of the world. In Luke 6:31, Jesus tells his followers, be compassionate as love is compassionate. In Hebrew, the word that is translated there as compassionate actually means womb. Womb. To say that God is compassionate is to say that God is like a womb. Or to coin a word that captures the flavor of the original Hebrew. Wombish. Wombish. And so for us to be compassionate is to be like a womb. It is to feel and act in a life-giving and nourishing way. It is to nurture and sustain life with our very being. This is our true identity. This call to be a womb to the world, to nurture the world, this is our true identity. The all-encompassing love that demands connection, relationship, and action. That's our true identity, our human being. Our Unitarian and Universalist ancestors believed that all human beings are worthy of love. They believed that we must act as if they are worthy of love. That we should not live in fear or judgment, but we should live through love and trust. This is our inheritance. We should love ourselves enough to do what needs to be done. Trusting in that kind of love. Well, that's how we can be our own Valentine.